work on it by yourselves here, at which point, I guess if you wanted to take off, you could, but you also might want to, you know, start it to see which questions you have for me that it can be dealt with here in the time that we have designated. Because remember, I'm not saying you get to it tomorrow, but if you did, remember that my office hours are in a location that doesn't have civil 3D, so. Anyways, so we're starting off, we're given this information. So we've got the topo survey below, which is familiar. We want to design a 4-lane highway with 12-foot travel lanes, a 62-foot median. Let's see, it's connecting these 3 points, H1, H2, and H3. We're assuming we have a design curve radius of 3,029 feet, and that the area does not have annual snowfall. What we want to get is we want to come up with a plan view of what our highway looks like, or would look like. We want to come up with, we want to create an alignment from that center line. We want to create an existing ground profile and come up with a proposed center line profile. Once we do that, then we can start our off-ramp. So, we've got this information. Does someone want to tell me what to do?
Start.
Okay.
Not mean like start with like a line or something.
Okay, yep, I'll start with the ply line, all right. Alright, so I want to start with the coordinates. Right, in this case, I'm given coordinates. I'm not given northern and easting. So I start typing in my coordinates. Let's see, I've got negative 19. Caps in. Go. Negative 190.22, comma or tab. 10428. 0.03. See, I've got this right here. What kind of line? Polyline. Polyline. All right, and then we want to draw this line at a certain bearing. So, does someone not remember where I go from here?
You go to the
on the top of the race. That's your bearing.
Yep.
bearing.
Yep, it's going to be that second from the top option on the right toolbar.
Yeah.
Bearing distance. Which quadrant do I want to choose?
Southeast.
Quadrant 2.
Quadrant.
Quadrant 2, all right. Quadrant 2, and then I will need to put that number here. 68 D. 11 minutes, 30 seconds. No, you just type in the 68 D, 11 minutes, 30 seconds, right, all the same. And then I will place this line. Yep, because we're gonna fill it. Yeah. The bearing is once you've chosen your quadrant, once you've clicked into that quadrant to choose it, it's just ignore the S and the X. So just type in the 68, and then for degrees it's a D, the letter D, and then 11 minutes is the apostrophe symbol, and then 30 seconds is the quotation symbol.
Yep. How did you get your line to be that long?
To be that long.
Yeah, what made you drink it that long?
I just placed it.
Oh, so it doesn't matter?
No, it doesn't matter, because we're gonna end up filling this, and it's gonna shorten or lengthen based on our design. Yeah, you can go ahead. I would not start with H2, because H2, well, I mean, I guess you could. Is that working? Yeah, you can do that.
Yep.
Yeah, what was the reason?
The hesitation was just that H2 is gonna be not the end point. H2 is in the middle here.
Yeah.
So you start with H3, just.
You either one.
Oh.
So you'll see one modification that I'm gonna make here to my drawing. Is you'll see H2 or H3. I'm drawing from H3, but oh wait, this was incorrectly placed. Okay, so I thought I fixed this last semester, but I guess not. So the bearing that's on H2 should be switched with the bearing for H3.
Okay.
So just be aware of that.
So this.
I thought I fixed that.
So H2 should be unspecified?
Yes, H2 should have an unspecified bearing. H3 should have a specified bearing.
So that's probably why we should do first.
I mean, it still doesn't. Yeah, yes, because you don't necessarily know what bearing you want. Yeah.
So you want H3 to be southeast,
Yes. Yep.
not going out of the.
Right, so that's actually the modification I'm gonna make. So that's what the bearing would be, because we go, because of the way that we define
You go
our
left to right.
left to right and all the parameters, but in reality, I don't have to draw it in the second quadrant, I could draw it in the fourth quadrant, and it would be the same thing. If I draw it over here, I would be going northwest. It's the same absolute value of that angle. And that will give me that will tell me that this right here is a very important point, this right here is a very important point. That way, you remember last week, I took that line and I moved it from end to end, I think, so that I could basically recreate this line and designate this point right here as the really important point. But if I choose quadrant 4 instead of quadrant 2, I'm drawing the same line. Now, that said, when I draw it this way, polylines have a direction. So this one I drew this way, this one I drew this way. So it's not 100%, correct, but, and actually if I was to create an alignment just with that line, the alignment would be going the direction that the polyline was drawn, so it would be going this way. But I can fix that in my next step after I draw the line. So let's see here. So I select the quadrant.
So if you change the quadrant,
Huh?
so we change our quadrant, we put it to.
That's fine.
Oh.
You just wanna
So you said-
make sure that you guarantee that you're going through this point. And so if you draw it this way down here, then there's a risk that when you do whatever design that you do, you could end up missing this point with some curvature or something. Because you want to designate that point because that's the beginning and end of your stationing. Yes,
Is that H3?
yeah, that's H3, yeah.
So what did you type in for the bearing?
For the bearing,
Yeah.
I typed in the what's on H2 here, so.
Oh,
This should be south. 24 degrees. Okay, so now I've got my two endpoints. That's where I'm joining to either the existing highway or someone else's design. Now I wanna locate point H2. So I'm just gonna start a polyline from H2. I'm not gonna do anything super crazy here. Okay, and you'll see where is that line starting from? Where is that coordinate? Okay, it's on the center line of County Avenue.
Oh.
So I want to be going through that point, and I'm gonna be going through point H2, and I want to be starting at H1, ending at H3. How do you think? Where am I going to draw this line? How this line that I'm now drawing from H2? How am I going to draw it? Anyone have any recommendations?
Can I put the coordinates on the
Let me try to what?
Are you trying to make a curve between H2 and H3?
I will, but not quite yet. Not quite yet.
You draw it to the bottom left corner,
Way down here?
or a little bit more like less steep and slope, so that
Again, why? Yeah, why?
so you can fill it in. So,
Okay, I
And
mean,
also
I
so
could
it'll
fill it if
intersect.
it was like down here too.
Well, also so it'll intersect with the other one.
Yeah, yep, that's true. Yeah, so what I wanna do specifically here is I'm gonna try initially, I'm gonna try to get this perpendicular to Catalina Avenue. Alright, so I'm gonna turn on my perpendicular. There we go. And I know I mentioned it before, but why do I wanna do that?
That's the rules.
It wants to be perpendicular to
Right, well, that's this is not our on-ramp and off-ramp yet, right? So does the highway itself have to cross at a perpendicular? No. But why might I want it to be perpendicular?
makes it easier.
Easier and also,
Calculations are easy.
I mean, maybe,
Safer.
what?
Safe.
I mean, maybe the crossing will be safer, but there's the off-ramp ramps themselves are gonna be what's more important to be perpendicular. But this, we're still currently drawing the highway itself. So I
Oh.
want this to be perpendicular because,
There's gonna be like a bridge, isn't it? Like more cost efficient if it's 90 degrees.
yep, if we can prevent this if we can reduce the length of that bridge by 2 feet, by being perpendicular as opposed to slightly skewed, then that 2 feet is, 2 feet of bridge money that, is not gonna get spent. It's a very tiny line, but it will still fill it. So if I fill it with a radius, now what's my radius?
3,000 something.
Yes. It is 3,029, yep, 3029. And we'll fill it, that line to this one, whoop, to that. Fill that one to this.
3,000.
Professor, how did you know it's 3029?
Because it was, mentioned up here. Yeah,
You did it perpendicular.
so I started drawing that line and it kind of started already at the center line, right? So, let's say,
Okay, fine. But how did you do the other
let's
way?
say this,
Oh, like.
let's say this was point H2. All I did was I turned OSNAP on, I turned my OSNAP perpendicular OSNAP on, and I just had it snap to perpendicular.
So what is something proposed? Did it? I think this was
There you go.
Okay, so now this is my what?
But we do radius on the top.
This is the center line, yes, this is the center line of the main line of my highway. So I'm gonna recreate the remainder of this highway by offsetting these lines accordingly. So let's take a look here. We have it both in writing and in this diagram, in this cross section. We've got 12-foot lanes, we've got 2 lanes in each direction, which is a 4-lane highway. So we got 12-foot travel lanes, a 62-foot median. And that's all we're told in writing. However, we do see that we have the 8-foot left shoulder, right there and there. And we've got a 10-foot right shoulder. So I will offset it. How many feet will I offset this from the median?
24.
12. Wait.
62 median.
62.
No, because it's 62 feet median.
Well, I mean, 62 the whole median, but you divide it by.
I'm offsetting it by
Yeah,
31, yes, okay. I'm offsetting by 31.
What's the ball called?
Yep, so I'll offset down once and then I'll offset up once.
Come on, man, you know it's not.
I will offset my left shoulders were how many feet? 8. So I'll offset 8 feet into the median for the shoulder.
So like he, and then, within the 62, I got 8 into it.
When he's adding lines, are you like
We put the outside.
you doing that little what's it called? Offset.
Yes. Alright, then I'm gonna offset for my what? Lanes, right?
Yes.
Travel lanes. Okay, so those are each 12 feet. Offset once, twice, once, twice.
That's 30.
Wait, you gotta.
Yeah. I'm so I did the 8, then I go 12 outside. Well, can I just do 20? No.
Hey, wait, why I see a little 2-foot?
Huh?
We got 22 feet between the 2-foot.
Yep, so that means that it's a 2-foot ditch. But that doesn't matter. Well, that's part of the 62, right?
Oh.
So we don't really care. This would be for later. Yeah, this component would be for later. We haven't gotten there yet. And we won't get there today. This is just a cross section.
So, what for the, then we just, like, my bad, for the one in the middle, the 2 feet, we need a comfortable.
No, that's part of the 2-foot is the ditch, the width of the ditch in the median. That would be for later. I think it might be next week when we talk about assemblies and corridors. But I'm not exactly sure. I can't remember. But yes, that would be for later. Yes.
Can you repeat your offset process? You did 12 feet.
Yeah. So from here, I had the center line only. I offset 31 feet out each direction
Oh, shit.
for the width because my entire median width is 62 feet. And remember that the left shoulders are included in that 62 feet. So I offset 31 feet out, and then from those lines I offset 8 feet in and 8 feet in to get these 2 lines right there and there. Then from there, I offset 12 feet lanes twice. We got 2 travelers in each direction. Last thing I'll do is offset 10 foot for my 10-foot shoulder.
Am I offset foot or? offset button don't work. The offset.
Why not? Keys though.
I don't know, like I'm clicking it.
Did you,
It's not going to the line.
okay, well, hold on, I will,
Professor, what line type did you use for the?
I was just doing it.
I put those dashed, and I gave them a line type scale of 20. Yep.
I was doing it.
Yep, so make sure you offset it once up and once down.
Wait.
You don't have to. Oh, yes, because you want to make sure that you want to be editing the properties of that.
Which line type did you click? The center?
For these, I just do dashed.
What was your scale?
And for the center line, I would use center. I mean, the scale of 20.
At the scale of 20.
I mean, that's not really required, it's just.
You think, when you meet scale, you're talking,
The line gaps.
line type scale.
Yeah, yeah. So it seems like you're getting good at this now.
This is 31.
That's good to hear.
Yeah. And this is 12, right?
It's just with practice you get faster at it.
Because it's small.
Wait, no.
And I
So
can promise
this
you-
is the middle line for me.
This class will be helping
This
you
is
with
center
your,
line?
Yeah,
like if
center
you're not
line.
already fast with CAD,
Yeah,
it'll help you
31
with
here,
your
31 there.
internship and
And then I do a shoulder, right? 8 in. What is this? What the fuck
Wait, why is it?
Looks like.
is this? Is this also? Can I check?
Yeah, I thought it was the other one, the one closer to the median. That was the other one.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
I mean, technically there wouldn't be any striping here
Oh, there wouldn't, right?
because this is the edge of your shoulder, and so the ditch in outside, like or within between the shoulders might be.
Doesn't have a stripe.
It might be dirt, yeah.
Can I since it doesn't look right, so this is the center line for me. Can I
Yep.
just like annotate? Because
Yep.
I think the show.
So if you drop that little drop down, there you go, aligned.
Oh,
There
okay.
you go. So now,
This one and this one.
yep. So zoom out a little. It's 23 point. It's probably snapped a little bit weird, but it's 24.
Okay, so this is good.
So that one you wanna.
Wait.
It should be 23, right?
Oh, I don't know what happened because
Here, so click escape, and then open your OSNAP settings, and then you turn on nearest. There you go. So now go ahead and place an align again. And there you go. And then wait, you got to make sure that you snap. You can snap anywhere on the first one, but on the second one you got to snap perpendicular. There you go. Okay, there you go. So that's 20. Okay, that's 23. There you
so
go.
this is the center line, 23
Yep,
this way, 23
okay.
this way,
Yep,
right?
that was
And
good.
then this should be 8 right here.
That should be 8. Looks bigger than 8.
Yeah, that's okay. So
But also, which one? What was? Hold on. What was 8 though?
the shoulder. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that's 8. But
Oh.
this is 23, right?
Yes.
Okay, this is 8. Okay, no, that looks right. Then
Because it was 31, right? From center line to here, 31.
as you're recording, sorry, I'm like
Oh,
right
oh.
in front of. No, you're
No,
good.
no,
You're
it's
good. You're
okay.
good.
I
I
just,
just like I'm like waving my
Oh,
arm
no,
right in front of
that's
this.
okay. So from here to here, it's 31.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
And then from here to here, the shoulder is 8.
Yep.
And then this is from here to here, the lane is 12.
Yep.
And then I put the center line here at 6 for the lane.
No, okay, so that would be it. So you're gonna have 2 travel lanes, so 2 lanes of 12.
Oh, okay. So delete this one, and then
Right
there
there.
you go.
Make sure you specify your distance.
Oh,
There you go. That's gonna.
oh, so now that's 2 lanes right here.
Yep, there you go.
So okay. Okay, not delete.
You're still on the offset. There you go.
Offset, this is.
Specify your distance. There you go.
Okay, now that's the.
And then we've got 10 foot right shoulders.
Oh, okay, from here to here.
Yep.
Okay.
And then if you want to, you can just change the line types and things to make it easier.
10 foot right here.
Yep. And then down there. All right, there you go.
I think I need to change colors because I'm getting all
Yeah,
over the
you
place.
can do that. So make sure you exit out of the command, out of the offset command. There you go.
Okay. And then.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, got it.
Yep.
Thank you, Professor. Huh? No, the median is 31. The median 31. Yeah. From the center line. I wanna look. Okay, that makes sense. So these are the 2 lanes, these are the shoulders, and this is the median.
Okay, so I've got my,
I want to get the dash line.
I've got my lane configuration all squared away. Right, so that's his plan view with lane layout.
This one?
Checked out. Next thing I want to do is create an alignment for the center line of the highway.
Yeah, that's
How do I do that?
Alignment.
Okay, alignment,
Is it from objects?
create alignments from objects.
I
Yep.
think.
Select that center line. Make sure you're selecting the center line and then the other lines. So I've selected it, it kind of highlights it, and then what do?
Enter.
Yep, I confirm. You can either click enter or spacebar. And remember though, it's gonna ask you, hey, this is, which direction do you want to go? It's put this little arrow right there. I'll zoom into it. Put this arrow. Mine is pointing to the left. I don't want it to point to the left. I want it to point to the right.
Did you do profile?
No, he didn't alignment.
Alignment.
So, if your, hold on a second. If your arrow is pointing to the left, then, or if it's pointing to the right, you can just confirm with an enter or space bar. If it's pointing to the left, then you either, well, press this reverse right here, press this reverse right here, or type R, and then confirm with the space bar or enter.
So we want to be going that way. If your arrow isn't strong, how can you locate it?
Wait, how do I do it?
Zoom out.
Which is gigantic.
Oh, this one, yeah.
It's probably really small.
Yeah.
No, it's just default. Yeah, you can escape. And then you had a question? The center line? Oh, yeah.
So we just do it again.
Yep. But
Oh,
I
it's
would
just already there.
I would zoom out a little bit. After you've selected it, I would zoom out maybe a little bit before.
Oh, you know why?
Well, here, escape.
Because you guys did it quarter.
So zoom in a little bit so you can know that you're selecting it. Okay. Now
Really? I
alignment.
didn't know they did.
Objects, select the center line, and before before you confirm, zoom out. There you go. Now that you're zoomed out, now you can. Okay, so now it's fine. Are you sure? Oh, hold on just a second. Can you? And quick escape. Quick escape. Yeah, you need. Yeah. Well, so you gotta join those two together. There you go.
And then
Now do it.
would that be the free?
It's similar, probably. Yeah, it was gonna be similar.
We want to be going the other way.
Yeah, so we just
You want yours because it's pointing to the
right, so you just put it
You want it pointing to the right.
Oh, you want it? So we want to be to read it then.
You want it going left to right. Yeah.
So you already confirmed through that. So this is okay, so control Z, because I also until you know tell us somebody so you want to
Hopefully he doesn't do anything.
Oh, those are all the statues? Did none of them move? These fucking ass. Bro, I saw this. Did I see this? I want to go there so bad. Yes, it's here, it's in LA. I would actually go to watch That's what I said! Oh, you should have told me. Ah, bro, I didn't know. Did you know? Or did you know? Really? This is, oh my god, that's actually so good. That's what I'm saying. Stop thinking, focus on your screen. I'm done too.
So what are you talking about?
No, I want that shit so bad. You should have told me. I would have fucking bro, not it. I would have known. Oh, it was October 1, bro. No, watch it. Watch.
Waiting to get to the section where we learn about style. Design.
the greatest show of all time. Dude, they played a lot of the runs. That's what I'm saying. They had a possibility.
Gino,
They played City Skate.
you know the post that you posted? Was it what you guys? Is that what you guys worked on?
Senior project, yeah.
Is that? Oh wow! I was like wondering. Oh wait, is that the one?
Okay.
That's so
It's
cool.
really nice.
Yeah, it looks really good actually.
Here, once I'm here, I'm gonna give the alignment a name. So I'm gonna call it highway center line.
Highway one?
Center line. Closer. And I'm gonna give it a starting station. This is a big street, so I will give it a larger number. That's not really a requirement, but I'll start with 50. You can choose to do something else. You can do 10 or technically 1,000.
Station?
Huh?
Starting station, you said 50?
Yeah. 50 plus 0, so technically 5,000.
Oh.
Right, and then I will uncheck both of these boxes. That at the bottom, the add curves between tangents and erase existing entities. I definitely do not want to have it erase the center line that I just drew.
Yeah, so Professor, here's a random question. Like, why is it always like +0, 0?
Why is that the notation?
Yeah, like, why everything is always like
Yeah, it's just
Not an answer.
Uh, yeah.
it's just for station.
Because that's the way it is. And then this is our optional thing that we could have CAD check for us or not. Our design speed was specified at 65. With the codes that we have built into this file, we can only check up to 60, but we'll have it do it anyways. So we'll check with the 60 miles an hour. And we'll click OK. And you will see a bunch of those stationing numbers pop up. And they're kind of big, and so they end up overlapping. We could try to, but in order to successfully do that, we would have to enter the settings in the tool space up here. That's not something I particularly want to try having everyone go through. So maybe later in the semester if there's time.
I think he changed it.
But the tool space on the left, I know I mentioned it before, but the tool space is where you find all the settings that you could imagine and more. You can even drag and drop settings from one drawing into another drawing and have it override. If you change, right now you can see we've got active drawing settings view. If we had multiple drawings open here, up at the top, and we wanted to copy some settings from one of the drawings into another one, if we change this from active drawing to master view, it's going to show us. I'll show you an example here. Let's see. Let's go work. Let me see what is. Oh, and of course, this is the one that I was working on today, and I forget that this file is massive because the survey is 1.5 miles long. Although it's actually a smaller survey than this one is. So, okay, so you'll see this is my Triangle Island design that I've completed.
You did this?
I mean, I drew it. Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, so you'll see over here, when I've got master view open, if I minimize this, you'll see now it's placed my second drawing here. You see the name MLK Civil Figueroa. You see the top here, MLK Civil Figueroa. So you'll see that. I got both. So now if I wanted to copy a setting from my MLK drawing into this, I just I can open up the setting, say alignment label styles, station offset, you know, and if I was to expand this, like, perpendicular line, if I drop it in here, I now all of a sudden, I've dropped my perpendicular with line drag setting into, from the MLK drawing into my week 7 exercises file. Anyways, there's so much functionality in Toolspace that it's more than its own semester class by itself, so we're not gonna cover too much on it. But anyways, now that I've screwed up this drawing, I will undo until, there we go, whatever. I can shrink this down a little bit. If I can. There we go. Alright. So, but I have my, actually I'll close this too, but I'll make this. So we've got our stationing. Actually, I'm going to go. If you don't have selection cycling turned on, make sure that you do have it on. If you properly unchecked the erase existing entities box when you were creating the alignment, if you hover over the alignment that you have drawn, you should get that little 2 squares. If you think you did it right and you don't see the squares, press Control W, and that will turn either on or off selection cycling. And it'll tell you at the bottom, no, I just turned it off. Alright, so now what do? I've now created the lane layout, I've created the alignment, existing ground profile. Where do I do that?
Services.
Services?
No, profile.
Profile, yep. Create service profile. Alright. Then I make sure that my correct alignment is selected and that I'm selecting the service that I want to create the existing profile with. In this case, I only have one alignment. But if you had the center line and you had an on-ramp or an off-ramp, you would have how many alignments? You would have 2 alignments. So you just choose the one that you want to make the profile for, and then select your surface that you wanted to create the profile with, and click Add. Click Draw on Profile View. And then we can kind of skip through all these steps and just click Create Profile View. And remember that this profile is going to be as long as the alignment is. So I'm going to start it kind of just directly below where the alignment starts. And I can move it if I want to make it more. You'll see that the style on this profile that it created is to give things very specific spacing. Unfortunately, what that ends up forcing it to do is reading beyond the limits of this chart. That's okay, because we're not really going to use those labels. Yeah.
Can you repeat that step one more time from this?
So profile, create surface profile.
Oh.
And then you just make sure that your correct alignment is chosen up in that top left drop down. In this case, there's only one. You select the surface from, if there's multiple surfaces here, which I believe next week we are gonna have Civil 3D create a second surface for us by using our proposed profile and cross section. So there will eventually be multiple surfaces here, but we select the proper surface. We want to create an existing ground surface, so we would click Add, and we click Draw on Profile View. Then I skipped past all these steps. These are just a bunch of settings that I don't necessarily need to change. And I clicked create profile view. And then I placed it somewhere down below. Alright, so that's our existing profile. That's our existing job profile. Then we got to the more challenging part, right? Drawing the actual profile itself, the proposed profile. So before we get there, let's take a note and realize that we've got specific elevations and grades that we need to meet at those specific stations. You'll notice there is no station defined on our chart, so we already know what the beginning and ending stations are. Beginning is whatever we started with. In my case, it was 50, 5,000. And it ends at 183.91.75. But what is it at point H2? We know that H2 is at the intersection of our center lines. In order to help us out with this in the future, I'm going to do something right now. I'm going to select my alignment. That will bring up the contextual ribbon. We'll see our highlighted contextual ribbon for alignments, specifically for this alignment, highway center line. On the left, I'm going to click drop down the menu for add labels. And I will choose the station offset fixed point option. And I will select that point at the intersection of my two center lines. And you'll see that with my O snaps turned on with intersection, it's going to snap to intersection. I make sure that it says intersection and has a little green X, and I'll click. So I placed a station label. I could place a station label for any other place, anywhere on this entire map. I could place one here. I could place one down here. And what you'll see is it's giving me a station and an offset and the corresponding coordinates of northern and eastern coordinates. So you see in this case, on the first one that I placed, my offset is 0 because I clicked on the center line. And I know that my station there is 124.97.31. And I think yours will be the same if you did it correctly.
Wait,
Now, let's say that there were things in the way here, and it was a little bit harder, it was kind of messy here to read. With my label selected, you'll see there's two grips down here that will show. There's this diamond shaped one and the square. The diamond one will move the entire label around. So if I click on that middle grip, it will move the entire thing around. But if I click the square grip above it, it's going to allow me to move my label just kind of out of the way. Yep.
If your station is wrong, what might have gone? What could have gone wrong?
Well, I mean, is it a multiple of 10 off? Like what station did you start with?
So my station for that one is 75. The station that I started with is 50.
So you started with 50, but it says station 75.
Like 75 as in 0 plus 50.
Does the station start somewhere Up here
Yeah.
and not back here?
Oh, yeah, it is. It is over there.
It starts back here
Yeah.
too. Why, you
Right.
don't know? Is it reversed?
Did
Is it
you
starting from right?
for you know how you put 50?
Yeah.
For did you put like 50 plus 00?
Yeah.
Oh, I just put 50 and then like hit.
I see. So you're in 0 plus 50.
Yeah.
Okay, then that would make sense then.
Okay.
Yeah, if we have different numbers, I mean, that we did something.
Not necessarily. If you used a different starting station number than 50 plus 00.00, then you're gonna have a different number.
That's different northing and easting.
Okay, so if it's different northing and easting, then the coordinates as put in maybe wrong originally for point H2. Either that or the point or the label is no longer like at that intersection.
No, I think you give it.
Okay, so yes,
You're easy. You know, computer.
Recording just in case, you know, I forget. It's already been too many times. I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot how to do this.
That's not the biggest But you know, just I'm just trying to but I still don't know why the importance of it, so. Yeah, if your alignment is reversed and the stationing starts at the right cool, unfortunately you have to delete the alignment because there's no way to reverse the alignment. So you gotta delete the alignment, and then what you have to do is restart over. But when you do that, that also.
Is there no
Based on what he told me, because he's 5 levels. Not like 5 levels.
Where are you standing?
Which is good.
Where are you?
Yeah, mine was already.
Grand champ is so he's really good. So, but I want to see you rage.
Remember that?
I want to see you rage.
Bro, okay, so which guy is that?
Fight games.
The 5 games. No, actually, good still.
I like game I rage at twice.
Point is,
That's the only game. No, like if I'm losing for
now,
stuff.
in like.
Because I'm still.
Project or
That's crazy. Oh, what? When you smile? Oh, this? He doesn't enter it. They don't have it. They don't have it. This? The family, I'm the one. Sometimes I forget I have it. I used to want to take it off. No, I have to get a surgery. It's not good. I used to hate this guy. I used to hate this.
I mean, no, not.
No, but I used to hate this. I didn't like this.
So, yes, right. This component, that part is all for the class stuff. That's not the ML lab. You may use it to create like the off-ramp. And the off-ramp is like the class. Okay, so in case you're wondering, like, you know, for this, the location of your points and whatnot, like when you key in the coordinates, doesn't really matter that much because you're gonna end up, you may end up using this file that you're saving. You may end up using this file for the lab for this week. But if you, and the lab itself is more focused on the ramp. So it doesn't really matter what, if the alignment here on the highway itself is a little bit off, that doesn't matter. This is just for practice. But for the project, you would want it to be exact. And so, if you want to double check to make sure that your points are all in the right spot before you start, you know, offsetting, creating alignments and everything, what you can do is if you type ID, and you confirm, it's going to ask us to specify a point. If I specify any point, if I specify this point right here, it'll give you the coordinates at the bottom. 7106.29, 106.18, or that also gives it to me right here as well. 7106.29, 106.18.62. So that's, you'll see that's what it shows here, as well as what, well, it won't show it here, I guess, because these are my XY coordinates on the XY plane, not Northington Easton. But I believe in the, for the project, you will be given Northington Easton, so it'll help you, you'll be better able to assess what coordinates are on for you, what coordinates a point is given. Alright, so I've got my starting station, I've got my ending station, and I've got the station at which point H2 is, which has a very specific elevation that needs to be met. So hopefully we can get this done in 20 minutes so that you've got a few minutes to start the lab, the ramp. Alright, so we're going to go back to profile creation tools, and we select the profile view. I'll give this a name. Highways centerline profiles. And once again, I could click on the design criteria panel or tab and tell it to use design-based criteria, criteria-based design. And then click OK and bring up this toolbar. which button do I click now? Anyone remember?
Draw tangents.
Yep. So this draw tangents without curves on the left. It's gonna ask me to specify a starting point. Remember that this is a chart. It's got the y-axis is elevation and the x-axis is our station. So I know my starting station, right? And I know my elevation that I need to be at H1. Elevation 3135.09. So I can specify on the right here, I can specify the station elevation using the station elevation transparent. These are called transparent commands. So I'll click on station elevation. It'll ask me to specify or select the profile view again. So I select it, and now I specify my station. In my case, 5,000. And an elevation of 3135.09. So once I've specified the station and elevation, it's going to ask me to start specifying the second points of station and elevation. I will click escape one time. And then my line will be being drawn.
For elevation.
Pick a point, right?
Just type in that elevation.
Yes. Press escape.
Yep, press escape one time, not two times, one time.
This one? And then to the point? Or just say 50? Not like that.
No.
0, 50?
No, I just
The second one,
it's high, like
yeah, that was really nice.
Oh, it's up
Because I have a
to
fancy side.
31, 35.
I need the one the third one's the same. Yes.
Oh, no, it's right here.
That's the one. That's like ours.
Okay. That's all? Thank you. I'm just trying to figure this one out too. For some reason, so I got these ones. So this is how it looks, right? It's the line, the shoulders, and the legs. I did that. Is this how yours look like? For this one? But I mean, when you go this, well, for some reason it goes over. Yeah, I can. For this one, for some reason, I feel like this is wrong. Because I'm trying to put the shoulder. Shoulder is 8. Yeah, I think so. Look. It's weird. So, look. Medium is 14.
Oh, you like the recording right now? Yes. I'm gonna take you with me.
Let me double check on the center. Oh no, this is the center.
You lost your mind?
See, it passes the center. So, this is the median is 14, right? Yeah, median is 14. So when you do 7, so it automatic. Is that really big? Or do you have it open or not? Do you want to close it? Okay, close it. Don't worry. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
All I asked from action food party.
Oh, it's not for elevation.
Yeah,
Because medium is like it's included, so
It's hard.
but it overlaps. It makes sense. I don't know. Oh shit! It's here.
No, no.
Okay, I'll come with this one.
Not yet.
I can't get out.
This one. Pick a point. Hurt thigh. And then oh, elevation. Elevation.
Nah.
And then pick right.
No, I was joking. It's just I feel weird when you wash your hands. No, that's usually where it is though, you know that, right? I should feel comfortable. I don't. I would because I'd be like.
So we're now drawing our profile line.
Oh, come on.
My next option after the profile station elevation is the one right below it, profile grade station. I will click on that one. It's going to ask me to specify a grade. What's the grade that I want to start with? It's 0.3, right? So 0.3, enter. There we go. And I will place this anywhere. Why? Because I don't care how long it is. Yep. Yep. All right, and then I can escape again a couple times, and I've got the starting of my profile. Now you could do the math beforehand if you wanted to. I don't know why you would want to, but you could do the math beforehand and figure out all your vertical curvatures and whatnot that you would require to get from point A to point B at elevation and grade
Or
wise.
how to just click right here something?
But you know,
Did you choose?
we can just try to kind of figure it out with CAD.
No, this is the for the
To
second
some
one,
extent, it's a little faster.
So escape and then
So
yeah. And then what?
the next thing we'll do is let's find point point H2. Now we'll see here that point H2, the grade was unspecified. We just needed to be at that elevation. So theoretically, let's select this profile again.
Oh, that's not.
Right click and click edit profile geometry so that we know we're editing that profile again. Let's pick up where we left off and click draw tangents. Make sure that you snap to the end point of that profile.
Also, what? Oh.
So what am I going to do? I'm going to choose profile station elevation again. It's going to ask me to choose my profile view. what's what's the station? My computer freezes.
Is it 124?
Yep.
24, or so one?
Yep.
1,497.
Yep, 12497. For me, it's, 12497.31.
When I select the profile view, it's like the grid, right?
Yes. Yep. Alrighty. The elevation will be 3062.74. Okay, so if we go back down to the profile, we'll see that it's drawing a point right there. Or it's connected, that profile line that I just previously drawn, and it's connected to that point right here.
Keep it steep.
You can escape if you'd like. And then now you're drawing this line.
We just continue to like H3.
We can do that, yep, we can do that. We specify that one.
So first off, profile station elevation.
Yep.
So that's what the one that I finished.
I'm selecting, I'm now, what I'm doing is I went back to, you see I'm still editing this, right? I haven't completely exited out of this, the profile creation or tangent creation command. I went back to the profile station elevation. And I'm checking what my ending station is. It's 183.91, or excuse me, not 0.19, 183.91.75. And I'm specifying an elevation. My final elevation at point H3 is 3141.58. 3141.58. Okay, so now I know this point as well. Alright, so now I'll escape out of this for a second, and someone asked me their questions. Yes.
Is it okay if we use because our stations are a different area?
Yeah, use the correct station for, like, the ending station for your alignment. Yeah. So what is not right about this?
The finish grade?
Yeah, right, aside from the curvature itself, yes, my slope, my grade at the ending station is not correct. So, I can do this the old-fashioned way, and I can create my rectangle, starting from this point right here. Starting from my endpoint, because I now know that this is the exact station and elevation I want. What's the grade that I want? I want negative 1.1%. So with this rectangle, I'm going to go over 100. Actually, I'm going to go negative 100. If I don't want to do it this way, what I can do is if I selected dimensions here, to make it a little bit easier, I will choose a length, a horizontal distance of 100. Click enter. What is my vertical distance going to be? If I need to go up at a 1.1% slope.
11 or 1.
It's
100 feet.
What was the? Yeah, 100 feet over and up.
10.
I'm gonna say 11
Why?
because one point I think about 10, and I was struggling with that last.
Yes. Yep. Because you want this chart itself has a vertical exaggeration of 10 by default.
Oh, yeah.
So 10. There we go. And we will see when I've chosen that dimension option, I can place it in any quadrant starting from that point. And I'm placing it up because it's going to the left, right? So if I follow it left to right, it'd be going down. Now what I'm gonna do, I will once again select my profile, right click, and edit profile geometry, make sure I'm editing that profile again. Okay, if I click the second button on the left of this toolbar, insert PVI, what if I placed a PVI right there? And if I escaped out of this, clicked on this drag arrow, and dragged it this way. Now I can make it as long or as short as I want. I know I've lost a lot of people.
Yeah, can you go back to the right thing? Yeah, and then after right.
Yep. Alright, so let's do this. So, is everyone at least to this end point? They've got their profile to the end. Okay, we got a couple people not. Okay, so we'll take a step back. Where are you?
I got the first tangent line.
So you got this one right here, right?
Yeah.
You have not gotten the second one yet, have you?
No.
Okay. You what?
Can we go back to the first?
The first one, okay. Alright. We'll try to do this fast. Alright.
What happened to that thing?
So you're here.
Yeah.
Profile 2?
Okay.
Profile 2? Oh, how the profile 2?
So everyone is at least at this point where you have your first line drawn.
Sorry, Professor. I don't know, I lost that toolbar thingy.
You lost what?
The
Oh, the toolbar?
Yeah.
Then just
Profile, right?
profile and just reopen the profile page.
Okay.
Or if you, and then make sure that if you have your alignment profile drawn, make sure you select it, and then right click and edit profile drawn.
Okay. I actually deleted that because I couldn't find it. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I'm there. Hold up.
Okay, well.
Okay, yeah, I'm there. I got it.
Okay. Okay, so you're here. If you're here, I will make sure that you're editing that profile and click on to add tangents.
Where is add tangent?
So you click on
Okay.
draw tangents.
Yes, click draw tangents and then make sure that it snaps to the end point of the first line that you drew, of the first profile line that you drew. So that it looks like this. Okay? So, do you have this line drawn, this profile? Okay, select it. Make sure that you make sure that you're editing it by right clicking and click edit profile geometry. Then I will turn OSNAP on for like the billionth time. Center. Okay, and then I will click draw tangents. And I'm going to have it snap to the exact end of that profile line that I have currently drawn. And so now I'll be drawing a second portion of this line of my profile. I want to specify my point H2. Right, I want to get this to my point H2. So point H2, I know that it has a station because I've already placed this label here. It has a station of, for me, of 124.97.31. And I know from the information that was given that it has an elevation of 30,062.74. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to return to this profile station elevation option on the right toolbar. it's gonna ask me to select the grid, the profile view. And then I'm gonna specify the station and elevation of that point that I wanna reach to. So for me, that station was 124.97.31. And then after I've confirmed that, I'm gonna specify the elevation of 3062.74. And you'll see that it will have drawn that line to that point. Good?
You get it.
Then I will do the same thing to get to my point H3. Point H3 for me has a station of 183.91.75. So it's already, you'll see I'm already in the station elevation command, so it's already asking me for another station. So I'm gonna go directly to putting this information in, the station, 183. And then the elevation of point H3. So now I've got this profile drawn.
What was the first number you put?
The what?
The first number?
For what?
For the coordinate? 183 or something?
It depends. It depends. It's the end, whatever the end of your stationing is. So if it's the same exact as mine, it's 183.91.75. But it's whatever the end station is for you. Alright, so now does mostly everyone's look like this?
Yeah.
You've got just some up and down straight lines. Alright, so you can confirm out of those commands, and it will give you our labels here. We'll see that I've got a slope of 1.34% here. But I want to end at negative 1.1. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to create a rectangle that's going to show me the exact dimensions, and I'm going to create a PVI on my profile that's going to snap to the corner of that rectangle that will then give me the final elevation. Yep. Or final grade that I need. So this rectangle, I will start. Cat is playing.
Is that just snap settings?
Yes.
Why did it show up like that?
For some reason, it's been turning off on me randomly, and so when it does that, I gotta turn it all on, or like turn it on.
Yeah. No, I was just asking, like, why did it show up like big with the like?
I don't exactly know. So I'm drawing this rectangle. Now you can either type in, you see that it's already got the dimensions showing, right? I'm showing 166 and 60 right here. I could type in 100 there, and then I could comma or tab into this one. That one is gonna give you, if you put those numbers in, you're gonna wanna put negative in for the 100 because you're gonna wanna move to the left. However, if you choose to use the dimensions option down here, or by entering D, enter, you can enter just the absolute value of those X and Y. So for my case, it's gonna be, well, for all of us, it'll be 100 in the X direction. And then in the vertical direction, the Y, I wanna go have a slope of 1.1%. So over 100, 1.1% would be up 1.1. But because this chart itself has a vertical exaggeration of 10, we wanna give it a the vertical, height of that rectangle of 11. So when I've chosen that dimensions option, it will allow me to choose which quadrant based on that initial point that I chose. So I'll click up and left, because that's where I want.
Yeah. Oh,
Then I will select my profile, edit profile geometry, and I will add, that's the second button from the left here, insert PVI. Now insert that PVI at the top left corner of that rectangle. And if I escape out of that, you'll see I've got my proper slope, negative 1.1%.
Oh no.
Yeah, once you confirm it, it should give you that number.
Well, maybe if I see.
Yeah. And then I know that I want to end with this slope here, so I can just extend it wherever I want to extend to. And it will stay, based on using this grip on the left here, it will go in line. You'll see when I hover over it, it'll connect that white line to the profile. So I can just extend it with that same slope. We would do the same thing with this point right here, but we don't need this for the lab. So I want to give you a couple tips for starting your off-ramp. Because for the off-ramp, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be drawing your plan view and layout. Basically the bird's eye view of that off-ramp. You're going to create an alignment for it at the center line of the off-ramp. Remember, where is the center line of your off-ramp? Yes, the leftmost lane line on that ramp. No matter which ramp it is, which direction it's going. And then just an existing ground profile. No proposed profile for now for that off-ramp. You're just going to create the existing ground profile for that off-ramp. So before I give you just like the recommendations, do you think that's possible? Right? Do you think you can get to the existing ground? I see a couple head shakes. Okay, so remember, just draw the layout first, create the alignment with the center line, which is create alignment from objects. Choose the object, reverse it or don't reverse it, just depending on which direction you want it to go. Give it a name, and yeah, there you've got your profile, or your alignment. With your profile, your existing ground profile, create surface profile, add your existing surface, drawn profile view. Skip through all these, click create profile view. Yeah. I think you can do it. I know you can, because I just did it in a few seconds.
Wait, so
It's
Professor,
gonna take long designing off.
Yes, that will take a little bit, yes.
can
So,
you look on
here's a recommendation. I'll close with this. Recommendation is, I recommend that your off-ramp be the one in this quadrant number 3, that it be the eastbound off-ramp. I don't know if we will end up creating a proposed profile for it next week, I'll have to see based on our time, but if we do, it'll be easier for you if you make it with that, on this eastbound one, because of the slopes.
This is to do in quadrant 3, up front.
Yeah, recommended, yeah. I mean, if you do it in quadrant 2 or 4, you're not creating an off ramp, you're creating an off ramp. So, that's first thing. But here's what I recommend, okay?
Wait, what?
I would trace the, let's see here again. Okay, I would just trace the edge of this Catalina Avenue. Just trace that. I would offset it just a certain distance. I'm gonna say 950. Just, you don't have to, like I said, somewhere between 700 and 1,000. You could go a little bit more than 1,000 as well. Just remember that if you do it more than 1,000, you need a second lane. But if you wanted to go more than 1,000 for this lap, just make it one lane. What I would do from here, where does the nose of your off-ramp start? Where does it intersect with the highway? Okay, but it's gotta meet the highway somewhere.
Talking about like when it hits it, when it hits the middle of the highway.
Yeah, where on the highway does the center line of the ramp meet the highway itself?
Right shoulder.
Like the outer line of the right lane.
This one?
Yeah.
Yes, so the outer travel lane. Yep. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start my line from this point. This point is gonna become the nose of my off ramp. So start there and I will trace it. I will just trace it. Now, you can only trace it if you're drawing it on a tangent. If that offset is on a curve, you've got a lot more complication. I mean, it's a lot more complication that can be dealt with, but why put yourself through that trouble? So then what I do is I select this line. Or I enter the rotate command first, it doesn't matter, but I'm gonna rotate that line. I'm gonna rotate it about that nose. I want to rotate it clockwise, right? Which is positive or negative? Right. Clockwise is negative. So I'm gonna offset it, or not offset, but rotate it negative, does anyone remember that number? 4 degrees, yep. 4D, 52 minutes, 8 seconds, yep. 4 degrees, 52 minutes, 8 seconds. So now I've rotated it 4 degrees, 52 minutes, 8 seconds, clockwise. And this is the beginning, right? I can extend that line all the way over here if I wanted to. Or remember, I want my off ramp to meet Catalina at what angle? 90 degrees, right? Perpendicular. So what I will do is I will then trace that and offset this a certain distance. You could specify a distance. I'm not going to ask you to check any kind of sight distances because we don't know what the actual design of that overcrossing is. So you could just choose a number. I'll say 20 in this case. I'll see what that gives. That's a little bit short. I will offset this maybe 50. Looks a little bit better. Offset 50. I will make sure that these two lines here intersect right there. I will trim this line to Catalina. So you can start to see this taking shape, right? If I were to join this right here, I can see that this has a length of 952.55 feet. This is going to be the center line of my off-ramp. Now, the one thing that I want to do before offsetting this line to create the plan, the layout, is I need to figure out what radius this needs to be. So guess what I do? I figure out what's the design speed going to be. Do I need to match it to the existing highway's design speed, or can I interpolate between 50 and 25, or between 65 and 25? Right, well, I mean, we would do the math. Right? We would do the math. If I wanted to interpolate between 25 and 50, or 25 and 65, what I would do is I would take this distance right here. I would take this distance right here. And I would say, okay, well, it goes from, let's say it goes from 65 to 25 in 952.55 feet. How far, well, I'll put it this way. What's the speed at about 707 feet in? Right, so that we do kind of like a fraction, right? The change in our speed from one end to the other is 65 to 20 is 40, so it's changing 40 miles per hour from 0 to 950. So how much is it changing from 0 to 707? That kind of makes sense? And then I just find that the change in the speed, subtract it from 65, and that gets me whatever my design speed is for this curve. Then what do? You go to your super elevation table, choose a super elevation rate, find an appropriate radius for that design speed, then fillet it, and then you offset it.
That's it.
I mean, and then you would, after that, you make the alignment, and you would want to trim and extend these lines as well, right? So in this case, let's say I'm going to fill this with a radius of 2,500. Let's just say, let's say this is my center line. I'll offset it 4 feet inwards for the left shoulder. I will offset it 12 feet for my travel lane. Offset it 8 feet for my right shoulder. Over here, it's perpendicular, so these are already perfectly in line. But over here, I'm going to trim the shoulder lines. So I'll extend my shoulder line here to that one. I will trim that shoulder. It looks a little bit weird, but it takes some focus if you haven't done it before. Trim that right there. Extend that right there. I can delete this. And you can see it's starting to take shape. You can trim this if you want to, you don't necessarily have to. But there's my off ramp. And then from there I could go offset 200 whatever feet and create my door area. So, a couple of people are taking videos of this. So make friends with your fellow classmates who have videos.
Who's taking video though?
Who took the video?
I took pictures.
Okay, someone send a video as well, please.
So anyways, that's how you'll approach it. I know I showed it to you just once.
I think
Try it, we'll see how it goes. You know, we'll come back to this, a little bit next week, yes.
On the slides for the radius part, there's like a chart also. You also do that instead of use that instead of the.
You're talking about this one right here, right?
Yeah.
So this one is, so that's a good point. You still need to make sure that your super elevation works, right? You still need to design it with that radius based on super elevation. What this is saying is that based on that radius that I've designed here, in my case it was 2,500. So it would be 1,000 feet and over. My minimum deceleration length, which means the minimum distance from the nose to the beginning of the curve, has to be 270 feet. So we technically are using it, but we're not using it to design the radius. In my case, I need at least 270 feet, and we can already, we already know that I have closer to 700 or so.
Wait, can you go, what were you talking about, like the 200 feet for the gross something?
What was that?
So you have to like offset something to 200 for like the gross area. The thing you said right before someone taking your video.
Oh, for the gore area.
Gore area, yeah.
There we go. That's this right there. So you see there's 270 feet from the nose to the beginning of this. Because that's all it's saying. I can then find that, I can find design this once I get those lines all. So yes.
Make it sound very like simple. But when I don't know what to do at home, it's be like.
That's how your professors do it, right? They make it sound real simple. I mean, you wouldn't have to do it. So,
How do you find R, like your R for for the fillet?
like this right here, right? Well, that you find the design speed, right, by interpolation. You have to use your judgment. Am I designing this as a through traffic, which means I have to use the design speed of 65, because that's what I was given up here. Design speed of 65 somewhere right there.
Yeah.
So am I going to design it for 65 miles an hour, or can I assume that it's going from 65 to 25?
Yeah.
And if we're making that assumption, then I have to interpolate. But given the distances, I have to say, okay, it's taking 700 feet for me to get to that where that peak was, where the junction was.
Yeah.
700 feet out of 950 is how much out of a change of speed of 40 miles an hour. So if it's 700 over 950, that's 74% of the change is a change of 40 miles an hour. So it's a change of speed of 30 miles an hour, which is 30 is 3/4 of 40. So I'm reducing by 30, so I'm going from 65 to 35. So my design speed is going to be 35 miles an hour on this curve on this off ramp. Then I go to the 12% super elevation chart from the chapter 200 horizontal 11 slides. Choose a super elevation rate based with a it's design speed 35. Find that curve radius. That's the curve radius you use here. Then based on that radius, you figure out, do I have enough space? If you don't, then what you need to do is you need to increase your super elevation rate or adjust the location of this. You may need to shift it closer to this freeway to give you more, or farther away from the freeway to expand this line right here.
Okay.
So,
But you said 700, but you have 600 there. Is that before you?
who's just
talking about it?
It's an estimate, and that's why I might over design the super elevation rate, for instance, or something.
So the bottom line was your center line. Is that the one that's
This one right
That's it.
here.
Okay,
The left lane.
then you did offset of what, like you kind of just went off of there.
Well, I went off the 4, because on this